Yeah, you can. And don't sleep over there. Just make sure you come back soon. We'll continue with financial sector, and we are rounding up financial sector in the basket. And after now, I would have to take you to the school administrator. I said I don't want gowns. It's as simple as that. And while you continue to do it, it simply means you are being disrespectful. Please close that door. The guy just opened it around. Someone should please close it for me. Thank you, Renan. Thanks, man. I come to the classroom, you don't see me chewing gum, and you are chewing gum. You don't see me eat chocolate, you are eating chocolate. You don't see me play, you are playing. It means you are not, you are supposed, you are grown-ups. You are grown-ups. I think this is the, where are you? Do you want to tell me you're still here? What?
What's after that fail, the last word?
Failing friends, go through orderly resolution. Whatever he says, a cup of tea. I'm not going to further that. What I'm saying, keep quiet, please. Keep quiet. Keep quiet, please. You keep quiet. If you have not done anything wrong, I wouldn't have to talk. So you don't come here to do as if nothing has happened. I don't pretend as if nothing happens. When something happens, I talk about it so that it doesn't happen again. So you stop doing the wrong thing so that I won't be able to talk further.
We only have one lesson left.
I don't care. But hello, please. Do the right thing so I don't talk. I told you earlier I don't want chewing gum in the classroom. Didn't I say that? Why do you continue to chew gum?
Maybe I did it in our math.
And when I came in the morning, didn't I talk about it? You don't give me excuses. You do the right thing at the right time, and that's all, please.
I told you maybe we were done.
That's a cup of tea. Now, we are rounding up financial sector. We're rounding up financial sector today. So we're going to the role of financial institutions. When we talk about financial institutions, stop writing, please. Don't write on the desk. When we talk about financial institutions, we're talking about institutions that make money available to customers and your pen down. When we talk about financial institutions, we're talking about institutions or firms that make money available to customers. That's a financial institution. So what are their roles? First, availability of credit. When we talk about credit, we're simply talking about loans, being able to spend what we don't have. But in return, we have to pay it back. I said you don't write on that desk. This is the second time I'm saying that. Where is your mind? Because of saying that, it simply means we're going to pay back interest and the principal. Because we are spending what we don't have. So for that reason, we have to pay back certain interest on it. So the financial institution will make sure that credit or borrowers are able to get the finance they needed, but in return, they have to pay interest. Do we understand availability of credit here? Do we understand availability of credit? No, stop writing, please. You put your pen down. Hello? You stop writing. Your pen down. Are you with me, please?
Yes.
So availability of credit simply means, for financial institutions, they don't only provide credit, they provide cash too. But mostly when we talk about cash simply means the money we have. So they make sure that it transits, cut across the economy. That is cash. But when we talk about credit simply means we want to spend what we don't have. And what we don't have, can only be available through the financial institutions. So that is why financial institutions will make sure credits are always available. So, but in return, we have to pay back that principal with interest. Do we understand the availability of credit here? Financial institutions, they provide credit. This is what their business is. And the profit they make is through the interest you pay as a borrower. At all time. Yes? When you take a loan, you have to pay back with interest. So that is what the financial institutions do. The banks, the credit institutions, the credit businesses, that is what they sell. So they don't give you money to pay back the same amount of money. Then how will they make profit? Because whatever money they give to you is from a customer. So the customer has deposited that money into the business, into the bank. So the bank will use that money as a business to customers who need them. They lend it out. The money is a liability to them. We talked about that previously. Money deposited into the bank is a liability for the bank. So the bank will have to turn the liability to an asset. And to turn the liability to an asset, the bank has to give it out to borrowers. In return, borrowers will pay what? Interest. Borrowers will pay interest. Sorry, I thought I was using the blackboard, the whiteboard, sorry. So borrowers will have to pay interest. That is how the banks will be able to turn a liability to an asset. Is it clear, please? No, please tell me if you don't understand. Liability to assets. What is liability? Liability simply means stop writing on the desk. You stop writing in your book, but you start writing on the desk. That's not good. Liability means you owe someone else. So how will you continue to owe someone? You need to turn that liability to an asset. So when you give it to a borrower, you lend money out to someone. So let's assume you lend out 500. You lend out 500 to someone. The person is paying you 5% of it. So 5 over 100 multiplied by 500. 5 times 5, 25. So that means the person is going to pay 525 back, right? So you have been able to create money out of this 500.
He's working by
The 500 was what was deposited. You gave it out to somebody. The person is paying 5% of that back with the principal. So the amount paying back is principal plus interest. Principal is 500, interest is 25, right? So now the bank has 525. So that is how banks create money. So they've turned a liability to an asset. So this one belongs to the bank now. From this liability of 500, the bank has 525. So as soon as the depositor comes back to the bank, 500 will be paid minus this will be paid. So the bank keeps 25. Do we understand how a bank turn a liability to an asset now? Is it clear, please?
yes.
No.
Do we understand? Great.
No.
Where? The point we're making is that there's credit availability, and her question was, how do we have to pay interest every now and then? Yes, you have to pay interest every now and then, because as soon as a customer deposited money into a bank, the bank becomes liable to the customer. It's a liability to the bank. So you can't keep a liability and continue to stay with the liability. When you stay with the liability, you go down. So what do? You start looking for someone who needs the money. So the example I made was an individual kept 500, deposited 500 into the bank. Another individual, so we have an individual who has 500. Then we have another individual who needs 500. And there's a bank which this individual has saved the 500, yes? Are you with me, please? As soon as you go to the bank will tell you pay 5% on 500. So 5% on 500 is 25. So as soon as you're going to pay back 525 to the bank. The bank will add nothing until this guy gave 500. The bank gave 500 to this man, and this man paid 525. The bank returned 500 to this man, the bank keep 25. Is it clear now? So that's how the bank makes money. Any question about that? Great. The second one. Okay, aside credit, they also give loans for those who need property. You need a house, they give a loan. Students, you want to go to university, they give a loan. Do we understand credit here? Credit simply means you are spending what you don't have. That's it. But you have to pay back with interest. I think the point is clear. But the second one, they make money transit between savers and borrowers. Financial institutions like banks, you save your money there, someone who needs it to get it. So they transit money. Money move in and out of financial institutions. Sit down properly, please. It's a classroom. Do we understand the second point, please? The third one, the pool risk. The pool here is about making sure that everyone have access to money, knowing fully well that not everybody will pay back. We give access to everybody that wants money to come, but not everybody that we give a loan to will pay back. That is the risk. We draw your attention into something that we know it is risky for us. Risk simply means there's probability of you not returning the money. So if a bank gives 10 people money, maybe 7 out of 10 will return the money. That is the risk. Do we understand? The pool simply means that you give access to everybody to come, get a loan, but not everybody will pay back. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys? Then we go to the role of regulators. Who are regulators? Regulators are the central bank. The central bank. And that's why I told you that the central bank is what? The apex. The apex bank. The central bank is what? The apex. And when we talk about apex, the highest bank. Put your head up, please. Your head up. The central bank is the highest bank in terms of regulation in the country. So what do? One, they ensure the stability of financial institutions. They make sure that financial institutions like banks are stabilized. And how do they make them stabilized? Effective communication. So they check they monitor what they do to ensure that they are doing the right thing. We have, in Libya, we have Al-Wahab Bank, we have Jamaria Bank, we have National Commercial Bank, we have other banks, right? Then there's the Central Bank of Libya in Tripoli or Beida that check and balance what these banks do. Do we put your head up, please? Do we understand the point I'm making or not? They ensure stability. Stability simply means consistency. Without someone checking what you do, you won't be stable. Just like I have to tell you, put your head up. Are you sure you are here? That is stability. I'm monitoring what you do. So the central bank is there to monitor, to check and balance the affairs of commercial banks so that the economy will move smoothly. Do we understand the first point? The second one, protect consumer financial services. Banks, they deal with customers, yes or no? Without the central bank, the banks might make customers to become vulnerable. They might cheat them, they might exploit them. So it is the role of the central bank to ensure that customers are treated the way they are supposed to be treated. Just the relationship between the school, the students, the teacher. The school checks, the school administration check. Yes? The school administrator check if the teachers are doing the right thing or not. So the school is in between the student and the teacher. Same goes to the central bank. So the central bank is in between the bank and the customers to ensure that things are done the right way. Do we get it? Do you understand or not, please? No. We have regulators. Why do we call them regulators? We call them regulators because they check and balance. They monitor what we do. So without anybody monitoring what you do, you just do anyhow. Just imagine if I'm not here, the class will turn to a market. That is a fact. But because I'm here, I would ensure that the class is a class, not a market, that you might want it to be. So this is the role of the central bank. The central bank makes sure that commercial banks treat their customers well. Do we get the point here, please? Protect consumer financial institutions. I think it's clear right now. They don't allow them to be exploited. If customers are not monitored, if banks are not monitored, the commercial banks might treat customers poorly. They might exploit them. Because most of the time, customers do not have information needed to make decisions. Let me cite an example. You might go to the bank for a loan. You need a loan from the bank. You need a loan from the bank. The bank might not give you the necessary information to allow you make the right decision because of their own interest. But because the central bank is there, the central bank would not allow that to happen. Do we get it now? The next one, provide independent economic advice. The central bank, through statistics, are able to suggest different policies to government. The central bank is a regulator. They have knowledge. They are economists. They are technocrats. They know more. Because they know more, they come up with information. Those informations will be important for the growth of the economy. So when the government of Libya wants to make decisions about monetary policy, it has to consult the central bank governor. I'm talking here, please. I'm not playing here, I'm talking, I'm teaching. The central bank ensures that whatever, because they have information, the central bank is the apex bank. So those who work in the central bank are economists. They know more. They have information. So if the president of Libya wants to make decisions about monetary policy, it has to consult the central bank, because the central bank has more information than the president of Libya. So it is a square peg in a square hole, not a square peg in a round hole. Do you know what I'm saying here?
I don't understand exactly.
You go directly to the right person to get the right information. So the president of Libya might not have information about economy because he's not an economist, he's a politician. There's a difference between a politician and an economist. But in the central bank, they are economists. They know more. So the president of Libya, when he needs to decide about monetary policy, what are monetary policy? The use of interest rates, the use of the supply of money within the economy. The president of Libya might not be able to do that alone. It might need to consult the regulators, which is the central bank. I think the point is clear now.
Because they have information.
They have information, they have knowledge. And knowledge is power. Do we understand?
Yes.
You can't give what you don't have. So the president doesn't know. Then you need to consult the right person. That's why I said a square peg in a square hole. A round peg in a square hole means it is wrong. It has to be the same thing. A round, or a square, Is it clear, please? Any question about that? The next one, the last one, which is to provide resolution in credit. Most of the time, people could fail. Government can fail, businesses can fail, sit down properly, not cross and learn. It's a classroom. People can fail, government can fail, businesses can fail. But as soon as we fail, it is important for us to bounce back by resolution. Resolution simply means correcting your failure. You know, when you are supposed to correct your failure, it's just like you starting something. When you start, you fall. You're not going to start again. When you start again, you're not starting from the scratch. You're starting from experience. Do you get the point I'm making here? You want to start a business, or you have a project of 10 years. So you think, oh, I want to do it after 10 years. Why can't you just do it from now? When you do it from now, maybe you're going to fail. Then fail. As soon as you fail, when you want to start again, you're not starting from the scratch, you're starting from your experience. Because now you know what you don't know before. But when you don't start, you don't know. So the key to get it started, the key to get things done is to get started. You have to start first. So financial institutions might fail. But as soon as they fail, the central bank is always there for them to help. If the central bank doesn't help failing institutions, it means new institutions will not come in. They will be scared to start. But because you have the backing of the central bank, you won't be afraid to fail. Do we get the point we're making here? If some banks fail and the central bank is not there to help them, it simply means new firms, new businesses, new banks that want to come would not want to come. There's disincentivized. There's no incentive to start because those that are there failed and nobody were there to help them. That's why most of the time they said banks, commercial banks are too big to fail. Commercial banks are what? Too big to fail. Why are they too big to fail? They are too big to fail because all our money are with them. Yes or no? They are too big to fail because if they fail, those that are working with them will lose their jobs. And when they lose their jobs, they don't have income. They are too big to fail because money goes in and out through them. So as soon as a commercial bank wants to fail, the central bank is always there to help. Are they clear? Any question about financial institutions and financial regulators? Thank you.